Welcome back everyone. Today I'm going to review this much acclaimed book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is a self-help book which was originally published in 1936 and was among the first books to get the tag of bestsellers book. It talks about various ways and strategies to win over people and influence them um, by making very little changes in the way we behave and act. The author of the book, Mr. Dale Carnegie, was an American author and a lecturer who also framed various courses on self improvement, on salesmanship, corporate training, public speaking, and interpersonal skills. Let's get into the book now, and I'll be sharing with you some of the tips that he has shared so that we can win friends and influence people. The book is packed with many interesting stories, and I believe that these stories certainly do play a very important part in making us clearly understand as to what to do and what not to do. And he makes his point succinctly clear with the help of these stories. The first chapter is about arguments. The author says that you can't ever win an argument, and thus you should try to avoid arguments altogether. The argument will either be never ending, and both of you will be sticking to your points and not trying to understand what the other party wants to say, and your stand on the issue will be even firmer than it was before. So this way the argument is fruitless. Or if a person is able to win the argument, then the other person will end up hating the other person. So in both ways you lose. He also teaches us how to criticize. Taking an example, suppose you are the boss and there's an employee of yours who has not prepared a document as you wanted him to prepare it. So you have some choices, and you have to make these choices as to how you want to get your work done. First is that you criticize that person and say that you have done a terrible job and this document is useless and you have to make it all over again. Or you can start by making some observations, giving some appreciation to that person for doing such a hard job, and then slide in some suggestions um, as to what can be added to the document, and then ask that person what they think about it. This will not just help that person feel appreciated for the work that they have done, but this will also contribute to getting the work done much more easily, and the person will not hate you now the person may treat you as their mentor, because you are not someone who is shouting on them, but you are telling them what to do and how to do it. The name of one chapter in the book is The Secret of the Socrates. So the author has tried to share the secret of the Socrates. His secret is that whenever he is talking with someone, what he does is that he firstly tries to make a person say yes, or make the person agree to what he's saying as many times as possible, and then come to the main point that he wants the person to agree about, and then in the flow the person will say yes, mostly. Here let's take an example of you want a particular assignment from your boss. So you go to your boss and you say to your boss that do you think that I work hard for this organization, or do you think that I add value to this organization and I'm up to doing tasks that are difficult. There's a huge possibility that if you really do work hard and you add value, then the boss will say yes, that yes. Then you slide in the main objective that you had of this conversation. That was that you wanted a particular project from that boss, or you wanted a raise from the boss, and then you pose that question: do you think that I can work on that project because I think that it will add value to my experience? There's a huge possibility that in this way, without even saying it directly, you will get the job that you want. Although I'm not very sure if this will work with your mother to get the permission to go to Goa. Now the next chapter is about how to get cooperation. This is There is a story in this chapter about a manager who whose organization has this huge impending order, and they are not working at a scale that would give as much production that the order is complete. Now what the manager could do was to shout at the employees and tell them that you have to work harder and you have to scale up the production so that we can meet the order requirements. But what he instead did was that he convened a meeting of all the workers, and he told them that, you see, you all are aware that we have this order. What do you think we can do that we are able to complete this order on time? At this point, what happened that so many of the workers started to give so many ideas and suggestions, and now what happened is that all of these ideas belonged to the workers, and they were not orders from someone higher up in the hierarchy. Now these were the suggestions and the ideas that were given by the workers themselves. Now what this did was that this attached workers to their own ideas, and they worked hard, and the order was complete on time. Now this is something that the author wants to tell to us, that if we are in a leading position, in a position where we lead someone, we should not be throwing orders at them. We have to make them feel important, we have to make them feel valued, and we have to take their suggestions and ideas. The author says that let the other person have ownership of the idea, because then they get attached to it and they work harder. Another chapter in the book is called An Appeal That Everybody Likes. Here the author talks about how everybody is attached to some nobler ideas, and when we appeal to these ideas, they cannot but act as we want. Now there is a story in this chapter. There is a lord in UK whose some pictures are published in the newspaper that he does not like. So what that person could have done was that he could have gone to the editor of the newspaper and then shouted at that person. But what he did was that he wrote a letter to him and then told him that please don't publish such pictures of mine because my mother doesn't like them. Now the editor also loved his mother, so he stopped publishing such pictures of that lord. Now the author also talks about dogs. He says that all the other animals, most of them, when we domesticate them, when we pet them, they do something for us. Like a hen has to lay eggs, a cow has to give milk, a canary has to sing, but a dog doesn't really do something of this sort that is productive. But what a dog does is that he remains happy, he makes us happy, he really loves us genuinely, and he shows these intentions by wagging his tail, by trying to play with us all the time, and that's what we want dogs for. And this is exactly the kind of quality that the author thinks that all of us should have. We should pass smile to the people when we meet them, because the author also feels that when we see someone and when we pass a smile, it is our way to show to that person that we like you, we value you, and we are good friends. So the author says that a smile is the best ornament that you can wear. The author talks about how making a good first impression also matters. There is a story in the book about how a doctor once met a boy for the first time, and that boy was really fascinated with skates. So the boy ended up talking about skates for a long time with the doctor. The doctor also showed immense interest in what the boy was talking about. The boy was talking about skates. So when the doctor left, the boy told to his aunt that uncle is really very nice, and I felt very good. He really knows a lot about skates, and he made me feel very very happy. The aunt tells to the boy that person is a doctor and has no interest in the skates. this is how the author also wants to emphasize that we have to talk to the other person about the things that they are interested in, that they like to talk about. Nobody in this world is interested in your life. Everybody is self-obsessed, and they want to talk to you, they want to talk about themselves to you. So when you want to start a conversation with someone, try to make it about themselves, not about yourself. And to be a good conversationalist, the author says that one has to learn to listen 75% of the time and to speak 25% of the time. The author also emphasizes that everybody loves their name. So if you want to make good connections with people, we have to learn their name, and whenever we talk to them, we have to take their name again and again, because the author also feels that a name, the name of the person for that person is the sweetest voice that they can hear in any language. There is also a story about a president of the United States who says that he has such good connections because he knows the names of around 50,000 people. These were some of the ideas that the author shares in the book, and they work most of the times, but sometimes they don't, because everyone behaves differently. For example, say we talked about how to criticize, but there may be some people who really want to be criticized bluntly so that they can improve. Because sometimes when we are criticized in a toned down way, we do not wake up from our slumber, and we do not improve. All in all, the book has immense wisdom to impart to whoever reads it. It will certainly add value to your life. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll be back next Sunday with another book review. Till then, take care, stay safe.